Okay, we are looking at planned or desired saving. Okay, so at different level of income. Okay, household have different desire of saving, right? Yes or no? Okay, this is called planned saving. This is by definition. There is nothing technicality about it. Okay. Similarly, at different level of income, we have different investment. But since we have taken autonomous investment, so it is given 100. Okay, so it is planned investment. So we will see that both are different. First, saving is less than investment, then they become equal, and then saving is greater than investment. So when consumer is planning saving, and when there is a plan for investment, autonomous investment, okay, we have three possibility. Saving can be greater than, equal to, or less than investment. Okay. Similarly, look at aggregate demand. Okay. When we are talking about aggregate demand in the Keynesian framework or Keynesian cross model, okay, which I also call aggregate expenditure, this is your planned expenditure. That in a two sector model, household and firm plan to make expenditure, okay, at different level of income. Right? Income is 200, you plan 150. Income is 300, you plan 200. Income is 400, you plan 250. Okay. So here also you will have possibility. Wait. This is consumption plus saving 300. So this will be 300, right? I need to look at consumption plus investment. 300, 250 here. And here 200. Here 150. And here is 350. Okay. Aggregate demand is what? C plus I, right? So I have to add these two, right? Yes or no? Okay. So what you have? What is aggregate demand? Okay. It is planned expenditure at different level of income. Okay. So initially, what we have is that aggregate demand is more than your output. 150 is greater than 0, 200 is greater than 100, 250 is greater than 200, then it become equal, okay, then it become less. So in planned term, okay, when we are planning or household and firm planning, okay, this aggregate demand can be exceed your income, okay, can be less than income, or can be equal to your income or output. Okay. Is it clear? What I am saying is that when household and firm are planning, okay, how much household plan, how much they want to consume and how much they want to save. Okay. Similarly, firm are planning how much they want to invest. Okay. So at different level of income, this is their planning or planned expenditure. Okay. When income level is 0, planned expenditure is 150. When income level is 100, planned expenditure is 200. When income level is 300, when income level is 200, planned expenditure is 250. When income level is 300, here planned expenditure is equal to that income level or output level. When your output or income level increases to 400, your planned expenditure is 350. Okay. So you have three possibility. Okay. Now look at actual. Actual means realize. Okay. What actually realize? Okay. Look at this one. What happens? Saving is equal to investment, right? If household plan at this income level to save 100 and your investment is 100, okay, you have possibility in the plan. This is actual, that is realized also, right? So when we talk about actual saving and actual investment, okay, so in that sense, saving will be always equal to investment. Okay, this is actual or realized saving. Okay, and this happened at a particular level of income of output. Okay, this will happen at a particular level of income or output. This is realized investment. Okay, so when you are planning to score marks, okay, it can fluctuate. Okay, but when you see your mark sheet, you know exact marks what you have got, right? Okay, okay, same thing. Okay. Now, when saving is equal to investment, okay, output must be equal to your planned expenditure. This is what we have. See, right? Y equal to aggregate demand. Yes or no? Okay. And this you can look at Symphony also. Okay. What is output? Either consume or save. Income either consume or save. In two sector model, aggregate demand is what? Consumption plus investment. Okay. In equilibrium, Y must be equal to AD. Okay. I will talk about these three possibilities. No need to worry about. So C plus S must be equal to C plus I. This will cancel out. So saving equal to investment. Okay, in two sector model, saving is equal to investment. That means Y must be equal to AD. Okay. So you are planning, okay, saving at different level of income. You have different level of income. You are planning saving. Household are planning saving. Okay. Similarly, autonomous investment is planned at different level of income. Here we say it is 100. Okay. So you will get a three possibility when there is a planning going on from household side and firm side. Okay. So this plan will differ. Okay. Sometimes it can be greater than, here it is greater than. Sometimes saving is less than investment. Sometimes it will be equal to. Okay. So there will be one particular level of income at which plan saving is equal to plan investment. Okay. This in economics we call ex-ante. Ex-ante saving. Okay, or desired saving. And plan investment is called ex-ante investment. Okay. And similarly, realized saving that you realize, okay, is called ex-post saving, and this is called ex-post investment. Okay. This is the term that we use: ex-post saving and ex-post investment. Okay. This will always be in equilibrium. Okay. Here, at different level of income, people plan different saving, firm plan different investment. Okay. Since we have taken autonomous investment, it is given to us. Okay. So at a particular income level, okay, where this plan saving equal plan investment, we get equilibrium in the Keynesian framework in the two sector model. Okay. When plan saving equal plan investment or ex-ante saving equal ex-ante investment, okay, we get equilibrium. Okay. This is what we have in two sector model framework. Okay. So write down one line definition. Okay. Okay, write down. Okay, I love this part. Okay, I have sent the photo. I am loving this part. This they can ask, okay, what is ex-ante saving or investment? Since you are economics student, no need to memorize it. Okay, you can write it because I have given you the table, or you can make it out. Okay, right? Ex-ante, which we call plan also. You can write desire. Okay, when you write desire, if you remember the definition of demand, demand means feeling or desire of a person, right? Yes or no? Okay. So we are talking about plan expenditure. Okay, we are talking about expenditure. Okay, one more thing I want to ask. Okay, you people have heard about roti, kapda, and makan, right? Roti, kapda, makan. Yeah. So what is this roti, kapda, and makan? Yeah. Is it demand? Why? Very good. Yeah. Why? They are need, but why they are not demand? What is the 4 point I have given for demand definition? Anyone remember? First point. Yeah, feeling or desire. Very good. So first thing is wants. Feeling or desire per person. Okay, is different from basic necessity. That is the minimum requirement people should be having. Okay, is it clear? Okay, very good. Okay, so keep this in mind. Okay, very good, Raj. And you should do more detail in our course also. Okay, your internal. I am shocked by looking at your internal. Okay, How much you got? 23 or 24, right? 23. I expect at least 15 to 16 students to score more than 30. Okay, but only one student got it. 16 students I am expecting, and 5 students I am expecting to got somewhere between 28 to 30. Okay, okay, whatever be the case, it happened with everyone. Okay, it happened with me also. No need to worry. So at something, write like this: saving, investment. Okay. When you write in the examination, write in full. Okay. Write down saving. Which individual plan to save? S&T saving. S&T saving. You can write here. S&T saving. Which individual plan to save at different level of income? At different level of income. S&T investment. Which firm plan to invest at different level of income? At different level of income. X&T saving can be greater than equal to less than X&T investment. Can be greater than equal to less than X&T investment. In equilibrium, at particular income level, X&T saving, X&T means finance saving, okay, equal X&T investment. This line is clear to everyone. At particular income level, 300. Keep that example in mind, okay. Of finance saving equal plan investment. Okay. Next, ex post. What is ex post? Actual, right? Yeah, or realized. Again, make this like this. Simple definition is right now. Actual or realized saving in an economy. For saving, right? Actual for saving, ex post saving. Actual or realized saving in an economy. And for ex post investment, write down actual investment, actual or realized investment in an economy. It is equilibrium on which ex post saving, you can write it later. I write it down. Ex post saving on which equal ex post investment. Okay. So there will be always equilibrium in the ex post scenario. There will always be equilibrium in the ex post scenario. Okay. Done this part? Okay. Next, autonomous investment heading. Autonomous investment. This is point number 2. It is that investment level. Autonomous investment is that investment level that is independent of income. That is independent of income. Such investment does not depend on the state of the economy. Such investment does not depend on the state of the economy. write on this thing. Income, I should take more, right? Okay, just keep it, no problem. You don't need to put on the state of the name, so no problem. Okay. Income, you have investment here. Okay, autonomous investment we write here. Income start with 0. How much is your investment? 100. 1 point is here. Income is 50. Investment, this is second point, 100. Income is 100. And this is another point. Income is 200. This is another point. 300. This is another point. So it will be a horizontal line. Okay. And this distance measure your autonomous investment, 100. Draw this graph. Clear? Third point, 45° 9. So we are talking about economy that is below full employment economy, right? So when I am drawing 45° 9, I can draw it properly, divide both axes properly. Okay, I have limitation. Sometimes I'm not able to see it properly also. I have to go back and see it. Okay. So it means that, okay, whatever in the economy will be demanded, okay, it will be automatically supplied. This is the significance or important aspect of this 45° 9. Okay. When I am drawing this 45° 9, okay, what it means that, okay, whatever will be the demand, okay, it will be supplied because economy is what we say operating at below full capacity level. Okay, so whatever be the demand coming up, okay, suppose demand is coming up here, it will be supplied. If demand is coming up here, it will be automatically supplied. Okay, because there is idle capacity in the economy. Okay, firm have capacity to produce, they can produce more, worker willing to work at the going wage rate. Okay, so if they get work, they will start to work more, right? Is it clear? So it will not increase the cost of production, it will not increase the price. Firm can be able to supply more. Okay, this is what you have significance of this 45° 9. So here, this in vertical on the vertical axis you have finance expenditure. Let me introduce this term, finance expenditure or aggregate demand. Okay, here you have output or aggregate output. Okay, so you can have possibility where your finance expenditure can be greater than your output, right? Yes or no? We have just seen in the example. Okay, it can be equal here at this point. Your planned expenditure can be your realized expenditure also. Okay, and it can be less than your output also. Okay, three possibility can be there. First, you write about this 45° 9. Okay, few sentences. 45° 9 represent aggregate supply curve. That write AS. Okay, later on in the example write it proper. For aggregate supply use AS. For aggregate demand use AD. Okay, but in the examination write incomplete and put this in the box. Okay, the 45° 9 represent AS curve which embodied the idea that as long as economy is operating below full employment, which embodied the idea that EMBODIED, which embodied the idea that as long as economy is operating below full employment, anything demanded will be supplied. Anything demanded will be supplied. Okay, you can write this thing that because there is a what called idle capacity in the economy. Okay, involuntary unemployment is there. Okay, so if there is a demand element, okay, that is increasing, so more output can be supplied. Okay, that you can write in the bracket yourself. I'm not making it big because this is just for your understanding. I hope that you understand. In the diagram, write down in the diagram, the 45-degree line shows nucleus of points. Nucleus of points. On this are representing nucleus of point. Okay, where I'm giving on the name that I'm writing here. Aggregate expenditure, aggregate demand, plan expenditure. 3 means the same thing. Okay, here you write 3 things. Okay, where the level of aggregate expenditure in the economy or the level of plan expenditure in the economy, just like plan expenditure. Okay, because this new term we introduced, the level of plan expenditure in the economy, and the bracket write these 3 things so that you remember. Measure on the vertical axis is equal to level of output in the economy. Measure on the horizontal axis. Measure on the horizontal axis. In the diagram, the 45-degree line shows on this a locus of point. Okay, shows locus of point. Okay, where the level of aggregate demand or aggregate expenditure or plan expenditure, whatever you want to write, in the economy, measure on the vertical axis, okay, is equal to the level of output measure on the horizontal axis. When the economy is in equilibrium, it must be the case that aggregate expenditure in the economy or plan expenditure in the economy are equal to aggregate output. Okay, are equal to aggregate output. Okay. After doing this point number 3, 45-degree line, let me talk about unplanned inventory investment. Okay, or accumulation. Better use accumulation term. This is point number 4, right? Unplanned inventory accumulation. Okay, like I have given the example already. Okay, let's do one more time. So a firm is producing 150. Okay, 130 it want to sell, 20 it want to keep as planned inventory investment. Why they make planned inventory investment? Because you know the business cycle. Okay, if there is an increase in demand, firm don't know the actual demand, they plan. Okay, so they keep certain inventory. Okay, to meet some unforeseen demand in the economy. Okay, they keep this inventory. They plan to sell this much. Okay, 130 you need. Okay, so let me draw aggregate demand curve directly. Okay, this is A bar, another small c, Y D. I just write Y. This is A bar. Okay, in the next I will explain again. In the last lecture I have done this. I will explain again. This is C bar plus I bar. Okay, is A bar, autonomous part. Okay, autonomous investment plus autonomous consumption. Okay, I will be doing that. First let me clear this part. Okay, so look at here. Let me use other. Okay, small pocket. Okay, look at this income level. Say Y1. Which one is greater? Yeah, aggregate demand is this much. And what is your output or aggregate supply? This much. Wait. Okay. Yeah, it's same thing. So your output is how much? This much. No need to draw this side. It's same thing. It output is this much, or you can say this much. Your aggregate demand is this much, right? Yes or no? This is 45°9. Okay. So I just take this thing here. So your output is here, aggregate demand is here. Which one is greater? At this income level or output level, which one is greater? Yeah, at this point, aggregate demand is more than your output. Okay. Then what will happen? The inventory, planned inventory that firm has kept, okay, it will reduce. Firm has to take out from this inventory, right? Yes or no? So unplanned inventory accumulation, okay, will be negative. Okay. If it has to take out 10 from here, okay, then it will be minus 10 here. It want to keep inventory 20, but it is able to keep 10. Stock that firm is able to keep is 10. So unplanned inventory accumulation is negative. Yes or no? Or you can say disaccumulation if you want to put, if you don't understand. So unplanned inventory disaccumulation is minus 10, right? Clear? You plan to keep 20, but you are able to keep 10. So you have unplanned inventory investment of negative or accumulation of negative. Okay. Look at this point. This is your output. Say Y star or YE better. So Y star we use for full employment output. And this is your aggregate demand here. ADE, whatever. ADE, okay, which is equal to Y, because this is 45°9, okay, it's same thing. I just said AD, okay. So here, whatever firm want to send, it is able to send it, right? So here your unplanned inventory accumulation will be 0. Unplanned inventory accumulation is 0. Yes or no? Now look at this point at income level Y2. Okay, at income level Y2, aggregate demand is less, and your output you can see from here, because this is 45°9. I can see it. Output is more than aggregate demand at this point. Or you can see here, this is your output level, this is your aggregate demand level. Okay, so at this point, output is greater than aggregate demand. Then what will happen? Firm have some extra output that it want to send in the market, it is not able to send it. Okay, so it is going to add in its inventory. So unplanned inventory accumulation will be positive here. Yes or no? Here in this case, unplanned inventory, right like this, unplanned inventory accumulation will be negative. Okay, when both are equal, okay, it will be 0. And when output is more than what is demanded, then firm is left with certain output that it is not able to sell in the market. It has to keep that as an inventory, okay, and that is unplanned inventory accumulation, right? So it is positive, okay. Above what we want to keep 20, okay, we want to keep 20, but it is 25. So 5 unit you are keeping extra, okay. This is clear, this part. Everyone? Yes, no? Okay. Now I'm moving to one of the important aspects, okay, that you should be knowing, and it is related to stability of the equilibrium also, okay, and that is how we define equilibrium. That this point is equilibrium, okay. So look at here, at this income level Y1, okay, your planned expenditure is more than your income. Expenditure is more than income or output, okay. So what will happen? Firm has to reduce his stock to meet the demand in the economy. Yes or no? firm will reduce its planned inventory investment from 20 to 10. Right? Agree everyone? Then in the next period or in the subsequent period, they will start to produce more. Okay? They will start to produce more as long as both are not equal. Okay? Firm will produce more. Okay? Clear? Yes, no? Okay. Similarly, okay, no. What I am saying is that when firm want to send say 130 unit, okay, and plan to invest in the inventory 20 unit, okay, but aggregate demand is more than what is output produced, okay, so it will run out of inventory. So in the subsequent period, it want to produce more. Yes or no? Because there is demand more than what it is producing. Okay. So it will run out of inventory. So in order to cover the inventory and in order to meet the demand, it will start to produce more. Okay. So if it move here, still your aggregate demand is more than aggregate supply. Okay. So the same thing happen, and it will keep producing more until this equilibrium is reached, where unplanned inventory investment is zero. Okay. Now look at here. Now look at here. Suppose, okay, it's happened that your output produce is more than aggregate demand. Okay, so more stock is added, okay, in the inventory, and that is unplanned. So in the subsequent period or in the next period, what firm will do? Firm will reduce output, right? Yes or no? Firm will reduce output until this point is reached. Okay. Once you reach this point, what happens is that there is no deviation. Okay. There is no deviation. Your planned expenditure is equal to your aggregate output. Okay. Is it clear? So this is your equilibrium position. This unplanned inventory investment. No need to write this, or you can write in a box, okay, on this thing. Suppose you are supplier of goods and you maintain a stock of 20 units every period. Okay. 20 units every period. Suppose you produce 150 unit of output or goods. Next line you can write. Suppose you produce 150 unit of goods. Out of this 20 units you keep as stock. Full stop. Rest you want to sell in the market. Rest, that means 130 unit you want to sell in the market. Case 1. This one I am talking about. Okay. If you are able to sell 130 unit, this is case number 1. Okay. If you are able to sell 130 unit, then unplanned inventory accumulation will be 0. Unplanned inventory accumulation will be 0, and this case is associated with the position where aggregate supply is equal to aggregate demand. So you see that when, or you can write, if aggregate supply is equal to aggregate demand, what will be happen? Unplanned inventory accumulation will be 0. Okay. Case 2. Suppose you are able to send only 125 unit. Suppose you are able to send 125 units. So you have stock how much? 25, which involve planned inventory investment or accumulation, whatever you want to write. Accumulation plus unplanned inventory accumulation. What is the planned inventory accumulation? 20 plus 5, which is 25. Okay. So in this case, what is your unplanned inventory accumulation? This thing. Okay. So take it out. Unplanned inventory accumulation will be stock minus planned inventory accumulation, which is 25 minus 20, which is positive 5, right? So unplanned inventory accumulation is positive. So if what we have taken, that you are able to sell only 125 unit, okay, that means aggregate demand is less than aggregate supply. So we will have this case, right? Yes or no? Speak up. This is clear? When aggregate supply is greater than aggregate demand, let me write like this. Okay. Demand is 125 unit. Firm want to sell 130 unit. So supply is more than demand. This point income level by 2. Then you have unplanned inventory accumulation positive. This is clear? Okay. Third case. Case 3, write down. Suppose you are able to sell 140 unit. Case 3. 140 unit. Instead of 110, you are able to sell 140 unit. How much stock is left? You are producing 150. You are selling 140. Stock left is 10. Okay. This must be your planned inventory investment plus unplanned inventory investment. Planned inventory investment you want to make 20, right? The stock is 10 plus unplanned inventory investment. Okay. I write IU, right? Sorry. Unplanned inventory investment, okay. So this will be how much? 10 minus 20, you see unplanned inventory investment will be negative, minus 10. So in this case, this is negative. When my aggregate demand is greater than aggregate supply, if aggregate demand is greater than aggregate supply, unplanned inventory accumulation will be negative. Okay. If aggregate demand is less than aggregate supply, it is positive. And if AD equal AS, this is 0. Clear? Then close the box. Okay. This is clear, this aspect? Okay, very good. So this number I give you so that you people can understand what is happening actually. Okay. So let me draw graph one more time so it will be clear. If not clear, ask, okay? No need to hesitate. So in some book they will write planned expenditure, aggregate expenditure. You can write anything. I have no issue. Okay. I hope this is okay. Okay. So let me draw this 45-degree line. Oh, 45-degree line is this one. This is aggregate demand in two sector model I am doing it. This is A bar plus small c by. Okay. Next I talk about, see when I am drawing like this, okay, you can look at in this way also directly from here. Okay, so now I'm directly looking. Okay, two curve. This is your aggregate demand here. This is your output here. Okay, you can match it now. This much and this much distance is same. So this is 45 degree line determining both sides equally. Okay, so aggregate demand is more than your output. Okay, what will happen in the subsequent period when aggregate demand in the economy is more than output? Okay, then firm will run out of inventory. Yes or no? Inventory with firm will reduce. Then in the subsequent period, firm will want to produce more. Okay, and it will keep continuing producing more as long as y equal to 80. Okay, where you have y equal to 80 and your unplanned inventory accumulation is 0. Okay, here your unplanned inventory accumulation will be what? When AD is greater than your output, what will be the unplanned inventory accumulation? Negative, negative. Okay, you have a stock of how much? How much stock you have? 20. Okay, demand is more than your output. Okay, look at here. What happened here? You can draw and look at it. Okay, I'm not doing it. You can do it. Aggregate demand is here, output is here. Firm is produced output more than what is demand in the economy. Okay, this income level say y say 2. This is y1 and this is y equilibrium. I write y mainly to show that this is unemployment equilibrium. We are not talking about full employment. Full employment may be here, somewhere here. Okay, so we are not talking about that thing. Okay, so your output is more than aggregate demand. This implies unplanned inventory will be what? Because you're producing more than what is demanded. Okay, apart from keeping your planned inventory accumulation, you have unplanned inventory accumulation also. So this will be positive. Okay, when this is positive, in the subsequent period, firm will reduce production and it will continue till you reach this point. Okay, this is your equilibrium. Okay, clear? Okay, after this there is a concept about stability of equilibrium that I am going to do tomorrow, but let me put up that point. Okay, stability of equilibrium basically means when there is a deviation. Okay, like your aggregate demand is here, output is here. Okay, so when there is a deviation, okay, from equilibrium, or you are not in your equilibrium, okay, and when there is a change in variable happening, you will not reach to this equilibrium. It will deviate away from the equilibrium, right? It is going towards equilibrium, maybe it is going this way, maybe when it is going that way, that is called unstable equilibrium. Okay, a stable equilibrium is one. Okay, when there is a deviation from equilibrium, say demand is more than aggregate supply, okay, it will automatically reach this equilibrium. Okay, here your supply is more than demand, it will automatically going to this equilibrium. Okay, so tomorrow I am going to do that case. I am going to draw aggregate demand curve from here and I am going to show that thing. Okay, no need to worry about that. Just I put up today because I am just focusing on this part, because I see the voice coming down, so that part I will do tomorrow. Okay, this is clear. I add up this part. Okay. Okay. So I don't want to put up lot of thing. I just want to put up what you can grasp. Next, okay, no need to put that part. Let me see what is required for today determination part. Okay. The stability I will do tomorrow better, and Okay, one graph I am doing it. Okay. After that, I am giving the notes. Determination of equilibrium level of income in a two-sector model. It will be very simple notes. Okay, notes will be simple. Technique I am giving so that you people can use it, and 1 marks, 2 marks, 5 marks question, you people can do it. Okay. So you know why into sector model is consumption plus saving. This is your disposable income because there is not government. Aggregate demand is consumption plus investment. Okay. So saving must be equal to investment. Okay. This you know. Okay. So I'm going to draw this graph that I have drawn and saving investment graph both. Okay. And so that when saving is equal to investment, you will be having ADAS equilibrium also. Okay. Equilibrium from ADAS graph also. That graph also. I hope I will be able to draw it. Let's see. Okay. So first I am drawing 45 degree line. Oh, that graph is clear. Before that I do it. That this A bar term is clear to everyone. Yes, no. This A bar term is clear to everyone or not? Just anyone say no, sir, it's not clear. Or one say yes. No. Okay. Okay. Read that NCERT book, okay, that I provided. So you have aggregate demand, okay, equal C plus I, and consumption I have defined as C bar plus small c YD, I just said Y, okay, two sector model. Investment is autonomous I bar, okay. In equilibrium, Y must be equal to AD. So instead of AD, I'm writing this thing, I'm writing this term directly, okay. This is C plus I. Let me add one more step. C is C bar plus small c Y, and this is I bar, okay. So this is autonomous consumption, independent of income, right? This is autonomous investment, independent of income. So I connect these two things. Okay. So what is this? A bar. Okay. Plus small c Y. Okay. This represents my aggregate demand. Okay. This is what I am plotting. Okay. Before, when we are plotting it, this here, right, aggregate demand or expenditure, whatever, or finite expenditure, okay, and here, hope so, I will be able to make that 45 degree line. Okay, done. Y equal to aggregate demand, okay. So when you are drawing your consumption function, okay, this C bar, it is going like this, okay. This is C bar, this is C bar plus small c Y, okay. I want to add the autonomous part. C by here is 40. Okay. I just have to increase the intercept term by 100 more. Because autonomous investment I am taking 100. This is 40 plus 100, 140. Okay. So 40, I am adding this I bar here. This distance is 100, right? This is my 140. Which is nothing but my autonomous investment, A bar. Okay. A bar is C bar plus I bar. Okay. So I have to draw a parallel line here. This distance here is 100. If you look at this is 40, this is 140. So 140 minus 40 is 100. Okay. So when I am drawing parallel line here, you can see the distance. Okay. This distance represents 100. Okay. So this is what your A bar plus small c y. Okay. A bar plus small c y. Okay. Is it clear? And this is what? This is your aggregate demand in two sector model. Consumption and investment, household sector and farm sector. So this is your equilibrium output or unemployment equilibrium output. Okay, maybe full employment is here somewhere. Okay, is it clear? This graph? Oh, okay, okay. So today I am not touching anything about multiplier. Okay, I prepare notes for that also separately so that two sector model, multiplier will be clear. But when I am doing the 4 sector, remember I have given y equal to x plus y plus c, where c is constant. Just do the derivation part of that thing, okay? Only that is required. Other thing I will cover it. Okay. Now let me try the graph, okay, that I want to draw. Okay. So I am drawing graph for two sector model, okay? Aggregate demand. I writing everything here, okay? Whatever reading you are following, you can do it, okay? But follow foreign author, no Indian author, okay? Okay, this is better. So I am doing consumption function, okay? Same. This is C bar. Here, what happened at this point? At this point, what happened? No one is revising. This is not demand, this is your consumption function. Right? Consumption equal income, right? Then saving is 0. Yes or no? Yeah. That is why I am saying remember the specification that I am doing. I have problem with this graph. This need is 4. Okay. So I just extend at this point my saving is 0, right? Saving will start from here. Okay, here I am writing saving and investment both. Okay. Here I am writing output. Here I am writing saving and investment both. Now, after this, my saving function will increase, right? Okay, this graph is clear. Can't see. What I am saying is that at this point, consumption equal income, saving is 0. Okay? Yes? No? This is okay. After that, what I say? Income is more than consumption, so this gap represents saving. So this gap is increasing. Look at it. You can look at it. Okay, let me stand here. Okay? Look at this gap. Is increasing, right? So similarly, this will be increasing gap. Okay, so you have increasing saving function. Okay, clear? Okay, very good. Now I am adding I bar here. Okay. See, make parallel. Okay, make this graph parallel. This is autonomous investment part, which is C bar plus I bar. Okay, and this functional form is A bar plus small c y. This will be your output level. Okay, say YE. Okay, let me draw this one a little bit bigger. Okay, this is my output level. So this distance must be same as this distance. Okay, this is I bar investment. Okay, so I am getting saving investment equality at this level of income, where my aggregate demand equal to aggregate supply. That thing also satisfy automatically. Okay, this is clear. Okay, so see, make it straight. If people have a scale, you can make it straight. Don't make like this. I am repeating every time. Don't make mistake like this. Okay, so this will be a horizontal line. Okay, here you have saving equal to investment. Practice this graph many times, then it will be correct. Okay, so give the heading determination of. Okay, I am giving the notes now. Okay, and sending this photo.